What is up, y'all? We are back with another Stranger Things Season 5 video, and it's a good one, man. It's a great theory video. Before we get into it, definitely smash the like button because it definitely helps, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. So I've been thinking, you all, when it comes to this episode, we got an early, look at the title. It's called The Vanishing of Blank Wheeler. Now, a lot of people speculated to be Karen Wheeler. I'm speculating to be Holly Wheeler just off the photos we got with her and Henry Creel and everything. Now, the reason I think this will be crazy, because we got the vanishing of Will Byers earlier in the seasons. That's how everything kicked off. Now, I told you guys I think that Will be teaming up with Vecna, and he's going to be like Vecna's puppet. Just learn people to Vecna that's around him, such as his friends and other people. Now, the reason I think it can be Holly Wheeler, and it can definitely just make a whole situation, because whose sister is that? That's Mike's sister. Mike Wheeler. And now to think about this and everything, say if Holly gets took, right? She gets abducted by Henry Creel, and now it's like a new story starting over that was similar to Will's. So remember how Will and Mike were kind of separated from each other a little bit just because, Mike's dating 11 now, they're growing apart. I think this right here, we're going to have some type of situation where Mike is going to have to help Will. And I think Will is going to know that Holly Wheeler actually got abducted by Vecna and everything, because it all makes sense. Think about it. If he's been through that before, he knows what's going on and how everything operates. Will is definitely going to know, like, hey, she just got took by Vecna, Especially if he's working with Vecna, he's like the puppet. He definitely knows where she is. I think we're going to get some things where Will still looks like, like human. He's not going to look, possessed at all times, but I think it's going to get worse over the episodes, possibly. This is just me speculating, but he's going to be doing things until, like I told you guys in previous video, 11's going to find out, or Max, just off the fact that Max is stuck in that trance or that curse with Vecna. She can see that second layer through the upside down and everything that Vecna does, so she's going to be the eyes of the group. I think she's going to tell him, like, hey, Will is not who he says he is. Will is going to be responsible for Holly Wheeler, possibly. And I just got this feeling just because we got that little leaky video with him saying, you need to run. I can see that either being basically him telling Steve that when that possibly could be like towards like the ending of the season, or it can be early on. If it's early on, I'm thinking that he's going to actually just kind of trick Steve into being in that situation, and Steve gets, unalived or something. Or if it's the end, I think Will is going to be out of Vecna's curse, and he's like, you need to run, like it's dangerous. But overall, when you kind of sit here and push forward, yes, Steve Harrington, I'm going to stick to that. I think he's a goner and everything. When you sit here and think about everything that's happening with this love triangle with Nancy Wheeler, Jonathan, and Steve got pushed to the side, especially even in the house, Joyce's house, with the baseball bat, the Demogorgons, and, Nancy is now in love with Jonathan, but she has like some type of, still attraction to Steve. She still has some type of love for him. We all see that. So everyone's like, oh, who's she going to choose at the end, Jonathan or Steve? And, he was kind of saying things how he would like to have kids with Nancy. I'm going to tell you guys this. Sad to say, I think that Steve might sacrifice himself for Jonathan. I don't know why, but it just keeps popping up in my mind. I think he's not going to just be unalived randomly. I think Steve is going to be a sacrifice. I think he's going to step in, and he's going to leave Nancy off like on an emotional note with Steve, just because of their journey from when we see them doing the beginning to the end. And it makes sense. Steve has a lot of attachments to these characters such as Dustin and Robin. He definitely has a lot of emotion behind him. So I think what's going to happen is possibly we're going to have this love triangle end off of Steve Harrington being unalived. It's going to force Jonathan and Nancy to be together. I know it's kind of shitty, because you would think like, okay, what if basically they could have did this in season 4 and we had some more story left with those guys in order of her just leaving off like that with Jonathan. But I think that right there will just kind of complete her story and just erase the love triangle where Steve is just sacrificing himself for Jonathan. Maybe he says something before, he checks out to Jonathan or something, but I can see that. I don't know why, but I can just see Steve Harrington just stepping in for Jonathan at the last moment when something bad was about to happen. That's just my opinion. But with Holly Wheeler, I think her story is going to literally be like Will in season 1. She's going to get took and everything, but I think Will is going to be under Vecna's wing, knowing that he's doing this to people, knowing that he's coming, knowing that the curse is around the corner, and he's not going to warn anybody. Maybe he does, but they don't believe him. But either way, he's going to be he's going to be the puppet of Vecna. He's going to be working for Vecna. And I think it's going to be to the point also with Will that when shit hits the fan, they might even start thinking about taking Will out because he's becoming to be dangerous. You know his nickname, Will the Wise. You remember the purple wizard stuff he had on? I think that was kind of foreshadowing him having powers, bro. Like, I don't know why, and just him being in the upside down and stuff like that, him being connected to Vecna, I think it's going to just be a little extra from the other kids. With Mike and Will, just these situations we've been having in the previous seasons with them having arguments about their friendship pulling apart and them not being the same anymore. I feel that that's also signs that they're going to end up in the end having to go up against each other or just have some type of moment where they got to exchange words. Like, just like, come on, Will, man, I'm sorry about everything I did. You're always my best friend or my buddy, man. Like, I think it's going to be something like that. Just off the fact we saw him in Surface Boy van crying and stuff like that, showing us emotions. Same with, like, Lucas, you know, he had that moment, too, eventually, you know, he with the Hellfire Club, and he was hanging out with the guys in the varsity jackets, and then he found out, like, these are not my friends. I think it's going to be something like that with Will and Mike, but maybe I can be wrong. Everything I'm talking about right now is me speculating as a Stranger Things fan, and, you know, pushing forward with 11. People are saying, hey, bro, do you think she's going to be more powerful in season 5? I think she's not going to start off just as powerful as all get out, but I think at the end, things might get so bad and dangerous, she will have to push herself to the max, bro, like, to the end. Like, she's going to have to, like, be on her last leg with her power just because I think Vecna's going to be more powerful. I think he's going to be able to do more crazier things, like, you know, such as manipulating people, and he's going to have Will on the side in my world. That's what I'm guessing. I will be so surprised if we get season 5 and, you know, Will is just a good guy. He's not having nothing done. He's still that type of character because the Duffer said this season will definitely surround Will a little bit more. I mean, if you think about it, it makes sense because it started with Will Byers. So at the end of the day, a lot of stuff is going to surround him because he was the beginning point. Even though we're getting a vanishing of Blank Wheeler, Karen Wheeler, or Holly Wheeler, it's still going to be connected to Will. It even ended with Will, if you think about it, when he was rubbing his neck and everything. So I think that's them showing us like he's definitely, you know, getting closer and closer to Will. And I think season 5 is when he's going to really get closer to Will, and Will's going to be a puppet. I feel like Will might even be responsible for a lot of people's injuries and, you know, deaths, man. Maybe 11. Like, I feel like 11, at the end of the day, she's going to be the one that tells everybody, like, after Max, either 11 or Max are going to tell everybody, like, Will is not good. Because, you know, like I said, 11 can see the other side. She can go in people's conscience and stuff like that. And Max, with her being blind and still stuck in Vecna's world, I think that she's going to be the eye, so she can definitely see Will, because that's how Will kind of was, you know, when he first was healing and everything. But I can be wrong. And like I said, Max, she's going to spend a lot of time in a hospital room, I think. A lot of her role is going to be on bed rest until like the final episodes. But I think they're going to strategically play that role with Max Mayfield, having us see her be able to stand, run, walk, and just be in a lot of crazy scenes. But it's going to be through the Vecna's curse. She's going to, like, you know, how I was in that Dear Billy episode. I think it's going to be like, you know, red, and she's going to still be able to walk, but her shell is still going to be in a coma until the end. Maybe it could be something like that. But I definitely think Karen Wheeler can be a goner too, man. And people are sleeping on that. Like, if Karen Wheeler checks out, Nancy and Mike are going to be so emotionally broken. Like, you know, I think it could be something like that, because we saw that picture with, you know, Mike and 11 on the building. Maybe he just, you know, he lost his mom. He's tripping. I don't know. But I'm thinking it's going to be some big names that's going to check out in Stranger Things season 5, because it only makes sense. You know, this is the final season. I don't know why. I know a lot of y'all be on my ass about me saying Steve Harrington, but I mean, that was the original plan anyways, to wipe him out. Same with 11. They wasn't going to return 11 either. But I mean, 11, I could see her being, you know, unalive, because she was in a part of the story in the beginning. They're saying they're going back to the beginning. I think, you know, they're going to try to go back to the main group of kids, and like I said, they might be forced to operate without 11. But anybody is up for grabs when it comes to the unalived moment. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Anybody. Only thing I don't think they're gonna touch any of the main kids but Will. I think he's the only one. Him and 11 are the only ones that can be hurt. And when it comes to the other groups like Robin, I think Robin can get hurt. I think Steve, Jonathan, all of them basically. But I can be wrong. I don't think Hopper, because he already went through that in season 3. His little, you know, moment. Joyce, I think she'll be fine. But it's crazy because I could be wrong. Comment down below what you guys think about everything I just talked about with Stranger Things season 5. Do you think, you know, that vanishing of Blank Wheeler is going to be similar to like Will's story? I think maybe that would be crazy. That would be just be a mind-boggling just situation if it's literally like starting over, but with Holly Wheeler, bro. Like, she just vanished, and she's younger, and now it gives Mike a reason to want to contact Will. Like, what happened? What happened, man? Like, what happened when that happened? And you tell me, this is my little sister. And then they got to come back together. That would be crazy. Think about it. And it forces the guys to come back together because now it's Mike's little sister. So now they have to have Will together, Lucas, Dustin, and let everybody just comes together. I think that can definitely help. And maybe Max can help with Holly Wheeler also. I think in that little picture we seen with Holly Wheeler talking to Henry Creel, that at that moment, that's going to be him, you know, kind of disguised as his true form. But she's not going to know that he's Vecna, and that abduction might happen right there, but I can be wrong. Comment down below, guys. Unfortunately, this is the end of the video. I want y'all to hit me up on my social medias at ILIKESCARY on Instagram, ILIKESCARY_ on TikTok, Brandon on Facebook, ILIKESCARY on Twitter, and yeah, you all right there where it says subscribe. Next to it, click join to become a member of the channel. I will see you all in the next one. Peace. Until next time, guys.